What we're going to look at is just a little range of combs and cutters for sheep shearing. We've got the cutters here on a wire so that when we use them and sharpen them, they all go back on in order, so they all stay the same width. Okay, so that's how we store those. Then we can take them off the end, and then we can then use them. When they get used, they get dirty, like this one here. They get washed, ground up, and then they'll go back onto the front of the wire. Okay, so that then they will get used last and these will get used next. Okay. With the combs, the ideal place to store them is in a felt pouch. So all these pockets here have got combs in. We've got some in here to have a look at today. So we've got a standard wide comb, which is this one here. It's got nice strong straight teeth. Alright, so they don't get broken. And they're ideal for dagging out sheep, doing all the dirty work around the back end of a sheep. Also ideal for shearing south down sheep as well, because they've got wool everywhere, a little bit like a merino sheep, but you can get in all those fine places with that. So it's got straight teeth up each side. It's got a nice bevel on it, and that's good for also shearing for lambs as well, crutching out lambs and bellying out lambs. We've got a comb that we would use for Angora goats. So this is a mohair comb, and it's got more teeth on it and they're finer. Okay, then we move up to wider combs. This one here has got a straight tooth up the side, but now you can see they're starting to flare out. And if you put that against a standard comb, it's a little bit extra in terms of width, so that'll make a difference to your work rate. This one is convex. Now we're getting to these wider combs, they're concave, so they sit onto the sheep better. But these teeth on the outside are more vulnerable. If you drop the handpiece or if it gets kicked out of your hand, then these are going to break off. And these, in terms of value, are 12, 13, 14 pounds a piece. So that, it's a lot of money here. And then we can go up to wider combs as well, which flare out both ways. Again, more vulnerable for breakage. But once you become more professional and proficient, then this is the sort of comb you're going to have. And if you compare these two combs together, then one of them is nearly worn out, one of them is nearly brand new. So we've got this comb here. If you can see along the top, there is what we call a scallop along the top. All right, and that comb is quite thick. Okay, so the thickness. All right, whereas this comb doesn't have any scallop on. That is all worn away now where we've sharpened it, and that has gone thin. Still very useful comb to have for crutching out and doing all the dirty work on the back end of a sheep, because it's get very thin and it goes underneath all the muck, whereas this one would be too thick and it would be hard work pushing that through. So although it's nearly at the end of its life, it's still a very useful comb. This one here's got a lot of life in front of it, so we'll keep using this one. When it gets dirty, as we saw earlier, it'll end up like that. All right, with all the grease on the back, that will all get washed off. Then we'll re-grind it up, put a new ground face on it, so it's nice and sharp.